We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc in theaters. Also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Welcome to episode number 33 of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. That felt weird just coming out. On this week's episode of
Episode 33.
33, in spirit of recent news, we're going to talk about Deadpool 2. We're going to do something completely unprecedented and talk about a movie the week after it came out.
Boom.
I know.
Getting right on top of that search engine optimization.
We are just as surprised as the rest of you. And I think that actually sets more of a tone for our attitude towards our listeners, and that we don't care whether you've seen the movie yet or not.
You haven't seen it, too bad. You're about to hear it.
We are going to spoil it. Like, one of our hosts hasn't seen it yet, and we're still talking about it.
Boom.
If you've made it this far into the podcast and you're thinking about shutting it down, why don't you take an adventure with me and talk about Deadpool 2 without having
Let's
seen
go on
Deadpool
an adventure.
2. It'll be fun, I promise. And then we're going to talk about what we watched this week, and I'll tell you one thing that's not on my list: Deadpool 2.
I knew that was coming.
Same with Deadpool 1 last week.
Yep, still haven't seen it. Well, that's not true. I saw it, just so we're all clear. But I have not seen Deadpool 2. No, I've seen it a couple times?
Well,
3 times? I don't know. That's not what we're talking about this week. We're talking about Deadpool 2. And one of you is going to tell me about Deadpool 2. Or
hit it, Dolly.
Talking. I was going to make that reference too.
Oh, damn. Sorry, I beat you to it.
That's okay.
Now we just need the Dolly Parton playing in the background.
I got worried.
I had no real way to get
there.
there.
Am I Dolly?
Yeah, you're Dolly in this situation.
I guess that means I have to start?
I guess so.
You're Dolly now, yeah.
All right, well, since we haven't 100% said it yet, I just want to warn any of our listeners. We are spoiling
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
We did say
I will
it.
make sure to put it in the title.
Yeah, you said it, Scott.
Well,
no, you totally said it. You're like, we're spoiling it.
In fact, I'm going to spoil our title by saying that I'm going to put it in the title.
Yep.
Spoilers?
That's 100% going to happen. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's going in the episode title. It's one of the 3 words. We now have to come up with 2 more.
There we go. Well, we started off easy. Now you only got to find 2 more words, Craig.
Well, hopefully you can pick some out through the course of us talking about Deadpool 2, which I wish they'd called the unnamed sequel. But anyways,
yeah.
I really enjoyed this movie. I think this might have been, in my opinion, a little bit better than the first. I don't know. I need to see it a second time to know for sure. But
you know what? I'm not going to agree with you just because I as well need to see it more than once.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to definitively say
was good.
that. I just really enjoyed it, my time in the theater watching this, and I like all the elements they took from the first one and elaborated on in this one and expanded upon, and just like the new characters they added. There was a bunch of new fun stuff, and I just...
You know how I felt about it? I felt the same way with Deadpool 2. I felt like it was a 2-part movie. Like, I felt like Deadpool and the Deadpool 2 was just like the second part of the first movie.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like it almost felt like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 followed by its sequel Part 2. That's what it felt like to me. A lot of movies that are, number 2, number 3, they become part of that saga, that trilogy, whatever, that franchise. A lot of times you feel like there's a big gap in between them. And you got to try to create shit in your mind or do whatever. There is none of that.
Yeah, it seems pretty picks up right after.
It literally picks up and he's like, hey, this is what I've been doing since the last one. Now I'm killing motherfuckers for money.
Which
I'm like, oh shit, you were already doing.
I really like that opening scene, which was a nice little montage, and I am a big fan of any action montage ever.
Yes.
And I'm glad
I just like the Dolly Parton over the top of it. I'm surprised they haven't used 9 to 5 in more movies as doing something.
I have to agree with that, definitely. It seems like a kind of obvious one to go with. I feel like when I was watching that a little bit, I didn't even notice the fact that was that song, to be honest, like that much.
Really?
I did,
Well,
I did, and I did.
Of course, I noticed.
Of course, you did. Yeah. Like I remember. Like now that you mention it, I'm like, yeah, okay, I remember it playing during that. But you know what I mean? I was more focused on the action, obviously. But
clearly, I was not.
Well, no, I just mean I think the song. I feel that the song was such a good choice because it just went so well with it that I didn't notice it. Like I think to me that's more of a compliment to it. That it's like, oh, it flowed with the movie so well that it just felt like part of the movie as opposed to me having to like dissect it or like think about it outside it. But I know like music and facial hair are two things you hone in on when you're watching a movie.
That's true. Like, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure there's a point where like him slicing and hacking limbs and stabbing motherfuckers in the face. I feel like that actually syncs up with like the beat briefly.
Think so too.
Because I remember sitting there watching. I'm like, oh, nice.
Yeah,
no,
but then
sound
again,
engineers need something to do.
That's true. Very true. Is that what you do, Craig? Is you secretly add sound effects to the podcast and then take it away later just for your
Really.
It's like that's where I had the explosion, and then I took it out.
I have
the public version,
copies. Yeah,
and then we got Craig's private podcast. That sounds dirty. Craig does not have a private podcast. That sounds dirty.
That you know of.
Speaking of privates, I liked that in that situation where he's killing people. I think he gets to the Russian mob or whoever it is. You know, he's killing that group of bad guys. And there's a guy who like has his junk out like in his face. And he's like, Father Kevin or whatever his name is, and he makes the reference to the Catholic Church raping him. And I was like, that's funny. I find that funny.
That was really fun. I chuckled at that as well. It's like it's just a little like
the benefit.
I love those little jabs. It reminded me a little bit of like a Family Guy type of jab at something like that. Like
I like stuff like that where they make fun of everyone. It's not just like, we hate fat white guys or we hate Catholics, we hate Protestant, we hate everybody. Everybody sucks.
Yep.
And we're gonna do it together.
Yeah, no, this movie definitely had a very equal opportunity insulting everybody and making fun of everybody, and I like that about it.
Absolutely. Jumping further ahead a little bit, I guess it's about midway point through the movie, just because it ties in with this. Like, there's a point, let me look at my notes. Deadpool gives this little speech about how the name X-Men is derogative and sexist, and how he won't stand for it, and he says, we're going to call ourselves X-Force. And then Domino, she's like, what is it? Isn't that a little bit derogative? Or no, derivative. It was derivative this time.
Derivative, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that a little derivative? And Deadpool looks at Peter, the guy with no powers, and he's like, I don't recall asking your opinion, Peter. And I was sitting there just pissing myself. Yeah. No one around me laughed whatsoever, and I was like, it's funny because he just said that it's sexist to do one thing, and then he was sexist. That's what's funny here, people. Yeah. No one was laughing. I feel like it was a joke that just went over everyone's head. And I was like, I can't be the only funny person here.
I feel like there was probably... This movie was so chock full of so many jokes that I feel like a good number of them probably went over general audiences' heads. And then there's some of us who are just a little bit more attuned to Ryan Reynolds' particular brand of humor, which I freaking love. Just sarcastic, kind of just smart-assery.
He lives off the smarm.
Exactly.
He is smarmy as all heck.
And I love that. It's so great. It's just, and it never stops. That's my favorite part. It's always on, and he's like almost it doesn't seem like he's faking it ever. You know what I mean? It's just him being him. This is how
I feel like that's the only reason he wanted to do Deadpool and play Wade Wilson. Definitely. Is because like I hate so many people. I just need to tell them, but I need people to think I'm joking.
Yes.
Because I would sign on for a movie to do that. I'd be like, I hate people who cut people off by pulling into the intersection and making a left, even though they're on a red and they're pretending they entered it on the yellow. I hate that. I'm gonna make fun of you in a movie. I would sign on for that shit. For reals.
You just did in a podcast, though.
I did. Well, that's the only reason I'm doing a podcast, so I can throw this stuff out there.
Yeah, we can't afford to make
actual movies yet. That's the reason why Scott's doing a podcast.
Yes.
It is normally my rant.
Yeah.
So we're like, why are there people parking on sidewalks, for God's sake?
Damn it!
I'm trying to walk here.
No, this movie, like you said before, there's so many jokes just crammed into it. However, I think I was with a very conservative audience who didn't appreciate some of the jokes because they do the one where I think it's right after a certain family member or his loved one dies. I'm not going to say who, didn't spoil it for Craig. Vanessa dies, and
I already knew that.
Vanessa dies, and he's there with Weasel at the bar, and he's like, George Michael was right. I'm never going to dance again. And then I think he makes a Prince reference or something, too.
Yeah.
And he's like, and Prince is dead, too. But at least we still have Bowie. And, like, the whole theater I was in was like, oh. And I was like, they've been dead for a while, guys. Like, they didn't just die last Tuesday. Like, it's been a while. Death sucks. It's going to happen to you, too. Deal with it.
No, I was definitely with a lot more of a, I don't know what the word is for it, a crowd who could enjoy the sense of humor, because we were all laughing our asses off.
I thought it was funny. I was like, those are the three guys who died within like 3 months of each other.
Yep. And I just especially like that, he got Bowie wrong, and they're just like, no, don't tell him.
Yeah.
He can't handle it. He can't handle the Bowie.
He's been through too much.
He's been through too much, and just he can't handle the Bowie too.
I like that they made Dopinder a more, not prominent role, but they gave him more screen time in this.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was just because he was received so well in the first one. People liked their interaction and thought it was funny, how he became his personal cab driver. They were probably like, shit, let's bring him in for more. Let's do this.
Oh, and he had some really kind of fun kind of, like, craziness to the, as like I don't want to say subplot, but kind of a subplot. He's always off doing his own thing a little bit, and he comes back and like the first one he went and kidnapped the chick he was interested in, fiance, right? Stuff like that. This one he just comes out of nowhere, not saves the day, but helps out the day a little bit, getting the taxi in there when it needs to be, and just he did a great job. And I really like their interaction too, because it's kind of almost like a father-son or like a kind of mentor-mentee kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Deadpool's like, no,
bro,
no.
like you
Drive
can't do it. He's like, you're too cute. We can't do this shit.
Yeah, we can't. No. But shall we talk about some of the things we wrote down since we made notes?
For reals, I've been covering things on my list.
Oh, damn it!
I've been throwing them in strategically as the
professional.
Yeah. Well, I'm on this right now.
Well, I said one of my notes, which was it was funny.
You can't backpedal, Scott. That's in my notes.
You didn't see it though, Craig. You don't know that for sure.
Well, it's a pretty good educated guess, though, isn't it?
It's a very good educated guess. But no, we did kind of skip over the fact that this had another great opening credit scene as well. Another one.
Are we talking the James Bond one?
Yes, which was great.
I loved that. I was sitting there and I was like, oh, it's James Bond without being James Bond.
And I like that he was making all the, instead of actual credits, they were making comments about, he just did that. Oh my God.
What the hell is going on?
Exactly, which I was just like, yes, that's just so, like, such a Ryan Reynolds type of humor, type of Deadpool thing to do. Like, why? Well, why tell us who's making the movie? I want to see some comments about those first few seconds.
I'm pretty sure in this one he kind of shit talks the writers a little bit, or the director, or producers, or he shit talks someone in that opening credit scene. I'd have to see it again to know exactly what.
It was definitely. I think it was the writers. He made some kind of crack at the
writers. He gave them too much credit last time, and he's like, "Nuh-uh, I'm taking some of the credit this time,"
which I think he definitely deserved. / I think it was maybe also the writers being like, "Hey, can we throw in like a little self-deprecating in the fact, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, okay, we can't take ourselves too seriously. We did call ourselves the heroes of the last movie, which is, arguably true. And they did a good job.
For sure.
But what did you think of the fact that they killed Vanessa in the first few minutes? Like, I was blown away by it. I was just like, oh shit. I thought everything that it said in that opening credits scene. I was like, what the fuck? Did they just do that? She actually did.
I would have liked to see her go in like I would say funnier way, but like something a little more like intense rather than like getting shot and like just bleeding out quickly right there. Like make it a little more intense, or like have her fall out a window or something, or like have Wade come home and the guy's like holding her off the balcony and like lets her go.
Yeah, something
like I felt like that would have been cooler. Yeah. However, I like the way he kills the guy by just like hugging him and then just spinning into an oncoming truck.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. I like that too. They did a really good job of creatively letting Deadpool fucking like murk some people. Like that's one of my favorite things. It's just the way they come up with new ways for him to just kill people, whether it's with a brick or swords. I love his sword fighting. Sword's so easy, but I love them fucking around with swords. Like, takes me back to his Blade Trinity days.
Oh, for sure.
Blade Trinity. But the next thing I had written down was there was a certain cameo of some certain Fox characters. Should we ruin this for Craig?
There was a lot of cameos in it though.
Well, there was a lot. I'm talking about the closet cameo.
The
literal closet cameo.
Where they do the same joke from the first one, Craig, where they shit talk the fact that there's only 2
X-Men. Yes, I know.
But they're there.
They're in a closet hiding.
Yeah, and they're like, ooh.
And they just close the door as Deadpool is there, and it was 3
it's
seconds.
All the ones,
but that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted them there for was 3 seconds of like, we gave you guys the money. They were there. They were on set anyways, filming their own movie.
They just don't want to be there.
Yeah. Which I just loved. It helped kind of lean into the joke a little more, and I love that it was such a quick little snippet because I'm just like, yes, like. If you weren't paying attention, which you should have, you're in a movie, but if you weren't paying attention close enough, you would have missed that, right? And it's just like I couldn't even tell for sure it was the actual actors. That's how quick it went by. I was like, oh.
I recognized Beast, and I saw bald head, so I assumed it was McAvoy, but I did not see any of the others.
Yeah,
apparently Cyclops was there.
I think so, yeah. I imagine they were all there just because they're filming.
Oh, no, it wasn't McAvoy. It was, I definitely saw Quicksilver. I saw, what's his face, creepy dude. Something Peters.
I don't know his actual name.
Evan Peters? That sounds right in my head.
Hair.
Quicksilver, yeah.
Yeah.
He was there. I saw him. Because I'm not a fan of his face. Don't like that shit. Not for me. Get out of here, Tate. But yeah. So other cameos in this one.
Yeah.
Love that Brad Pitt was in it.
That was great.
I feel like there was just a phone call that was like, "Hey, Brad, do you want to be in Deadpool?" And he was like, "Yeah, okay." And Ryan Reynolds is like, "Oh shit, okay."
That worked.
I did not see it going this way.
Yeah. No. At first, I was like, "Wait, is that no?" And I think my theater
because you only see it for like 2 seconds,
and you're like,
and it's like it's
you
flashing.
It.
Right?
Yeah, you question it for a second. You're like, wait, was that? Wait, huh? I think the whole theater I was in thought that too because no one like laughed. We all kind of were like, huh? Like you kind of hear there was a noise made, but it wasn't a laugh. It was like was that? Huh? It was like muttering noises. So yeah, it's like, was that Brad Pitt? I wasn't with anybody, so I couldn't turn to them and be like, is that Brad Pitt? Was that Brad Pitt?
I think the best. I think the best part of that is that they literally just had to have Brad Pitt walk into a green room, have him like lay on a table and bite onto a Twizzler or some shit, and then they just got to do the rest around him. Like that was his whole job in this movie was just to fucking lay down on a table and pretend to bite onto something.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Because he wasn't even like hanging there when he hits the wires. Like he's literally like, ah! Yeah. Like that whole scene was just like I saw it coming, but at the same time,
like when they added in the characters who I didn't see in the trailers, like the Shadow Star, like the Mojo guy, and those other ones, I was like, oh, this is a what's it called? The guy Slipknot in Suicide Squad. These guys aren't lasting long.
Yeah, where he like literally just blows up.
Yeah, I didn't think Terry Crews was going though. I thought he was gonna be one of the I thought he was gonna be like Domino.
They made Bedlam seem like such a badass big character in the movie from the trailer.
Which is what I love about the trailers for this movie. They didn't point to any of this whatsoever, except for like maybe a little bit the kid being the bad thing and the Cable storyline. But a lot of these other things, like I didn't see her dying coming whatsoever. Like the fact that she wasn't in a bunch of the trailer. Like she wasn't in much of the trailer. I just thought, well, she's not in much of the movie. She's just the
hot chick in the background.
She's not like a gunfighter. I think she's some kind of character from the comics, but I'm not sure how that exactly works. But yeah, so like I didn't see that coming, and which what I really enjoyed about this movie was that it just did a few things that I just wasn't expecting. And I always love a movie when it like just surprises me with like
blows
things.
your mind.
Exactly, because I'm like, they killed her in the first few minutes. There's X-Men.
Bedlam literally just crashed into a bus.
Juggernaut, bitch.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. I would have liked to see a cameo of Vinnie Jones.
I wish it was Vinnie Jones.
Just see him there, like eating a biscuit, and then like the camera like panning over to him. Like when Juggernaut like shows up there right after they crash the transport bus thing.
Yeah.
You know, when he gets out, just like go over to Vinnie Jones eating a croissant. Not a croissant, that's French. You know, something English. Eating his crumpets and jam with his tea, and he's like, "What the fuck do you want?" Like, I would have loved to see that. I would have pissed myself.
And then he just gets like punched off screen.
Yeah.
That would have been great. Like,
or he punches the cameraman, just like bam.
Yeah, that would have been
drops
better.
him and
I
leaves.
like that better actually. He punches the camera, and then you just see him like. Just like walk into
he grabs
a portal
his,
of some kind, and then he just disappears because he's magic.
I was gonna see him grab his Juggernaut suit, throw it over his shoulder, and just walk away.
That'd be better. I like that.
That would be a great scene. I would have loved that. Make it happen.
I feel like that he was probably just too busy or didn't want to do it, and
He's
that's the only reason it didn't
He's
happen.
probably secretly filming the 3rd season of Gallivant, which is fine by me. It's not happening, but I can hope because I love Gallivant. And I love the fact that Vinnie Jones is in it and he sings.
I did not know he was in it. Why didn't you tell me these things? You have to tell me.
You've seen Gallivant, haven't you?
No, I haven't got to it yet.
Scott
No?
hasn't watched anything we told him to.
That is
That's fair.
100% accurate.
That's fair. Okay, watch Gallivant. Vinnie Jones is in it prominently.
That's the way to convince
He's a
you to
main
watch the show.
character.
Gallivant's getting replacing Supernatural as what I'm
There we
watching
go.
this week.
Sorry, SN. Gallivant's coming in. Timothy Osmondson, Vinnie Jones, worth it. But anyways, other cameos that I appreciated. I love that Matt Damon was in this one as well.
Yeah.
With Alan Tudyk.
Right, yeah. And that
And I love that their whole exchange is just them talking about the perfect way to wipe your ass after you take a shit.
it was so
Like,
stupid.
such an unnecessary scene.
Like, I feel like Matt Damon must have kids who are just going into college because he's doing all these freaking superhero bit roles just for the like little change.
Just because he can.
Or he's just doing
He's
it
like-
for free because he's bored.
Yeah.
He must be bored out of his mind or lost a bet or something.
Well, he's probably like, well, you know, I've got a hand job from Don Cheadle. I can probably just go do whatever I want now, right?
That's fair.
Like
that is fair.
he's been through life. That was a reference to House of Lies, by the way.
I knew that. I actually understood that one.
Yeah, but I was talking to someone the other day about seeing it, and we were talking about how, you know, now Matt Damon's in both these universes. Now he can't come in and play a character in any of them. And they're like, well, what if that's who they use to tie the universes together? And I was like, get the fuck out of here.
That's dumb.
Come on, man.
No.
Matt Damon is like the 7th Infinity Stone, get the fuck out of here.
I feel like you actually made a pretty good point now. I think maybe he did this so that people stopped asking him if he'll ever do a superhero movie. Because like, oh no, I'm in both universes now. I can't. Canon. We don't want to mess with the canon.
Can't do it.
He just keeps saying canon because he doesn't understand. Or continuity. He just keeps saying continuity because he
doesn't know what it means.
He's just like, continuity, I can't do it, guys. Sorry. Those are my only 2 comic book movies I'm going to do. I'm out. I'm in the universe. I'm out. Stop asking me about being in superhero movies.
And then Matt Damon goes over to DC and he plays the Atom. And I'd be like, oh shit. Actually, I don't want to see him play Atom.
No.
Hold on. I want to see him play someone, though.
I feel like no. I actually legit think that that's why he's doing these cameos now, is so that people stop. So that, like, reporters, because like every big star gets asked, "Oh, Rock, when are you gonna do your?" That's the only reason the Rock's pretending that he's gonna do the Black Adam movie. It's not happening. He's pretending, so people stop asking him
it's
all
not
the
happening.
time. Like same with
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gambit.
He signed him. Oh yeah, man.
Jake Gyllenhaal too.
Gambit.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Him being like, I want to be Mysterio. Get the hell out of here.
I think that was him giving in. He was just like, oh, fuck it. Just give me a role.
He's like, I'm not going to ever be Batman because Andrew's never going to want to watch that movie ever. I guess I'll go sign on to the Spider-Man movies. Like, he kind of disappointed anyways. Let's do it.
I love how much you distaste him. Or have a distaste for him.
I think it was because he was considered babylicious back in the day, and I never saw it.
I think that when we were teenagers, there was a few of those heartthrobs who were just like, we hated just because all the girls around us liked them.
Oh,
like,
you think Robert Pattinson's sexy? Have you ever looked at butter? He is the same consistency and color as butter and or margarine.
And his voice sounds the same.
He's greasy and he's white.
And he has the personality of a tub of butter.
Exactly. Just there.
Have we seen Butter and Robert Pattinson in the same room? Can we confirm that they're not the same person?
Exactly. You've never seen me and Batman in the same room. You've never seen Robert Pattinson and Basel in the same room.
Exactly. But some guys like butter.
Hi, butter. Some guys like butter.
I seriously can't believe he's not butter.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. I like that. Who'd have guessed that we could go off on
too long to word that right? To be honest, I'm gonna be honest.
Who'd have guessed that this episode would go off on a butter tangent related to Robert Pattinson? I did not know that.
Craig's biggest contribution to the Deadpool 2 episode so far. It's the butter jokes.
It's the butter jokes.
And I appreciate it, Craig. I can't always.
You shifted the conversation into my element.
Butter.
Is it just butter, or are we talking about cooking like condiments in general? Can you do one
Pam.
for oil? Pam.
Pam.
Nice.
Crisco. Yeah.
Chris.
Also known as Robert Pattinson hairspray.
There we go.
And we brought it back around.
And
Yeah,
we're
I feel
back on Robert
like I'm
Pattinson.
reaching too much.
Andrew, did you have any more cameos that you managed to remember to write down?
This one, I think Craig is going to like it. I'm about to make a Brad Paisley reference.
Uh-oh.
You know how not conceited Ryan Reynolds is? He plays 4 different Ryan Reynolds characters in one movie, only gets credited for one of them. Brad Paisley references his own music in a song, gets credit both times.
Gets credit and doesn't credit anybody else.
Anyone else? I love Brad Paisley more than life itself. You can quote me on that. I just think it's funny. Because Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
He plays Deadpool.
Yep.
He plays Deadpool. He plays Juggernaut.
But Juggernaut
4
is
times.
credited as himself in the movie.
Yes.
Yes.
So maybe
That's because of actually a Actors Guild thing. Because if he was credited twice, then he would have had to get paid more, just because of like union stuff with the Actors Guild in Hollywood. So I'm imagining that's why they had it credited as Juggernaut as himself. Because
what a non-selfish bastard! What a Canadian thing to do.
Yes. I
Oh,
agree.
sorry.
Speaking of
you keep
Canadian
your-
things, speaking of Canadian things to do, since I'm looking up trivia while you guys are talking about stuff,
Are you about to hit us with some Canadian butter trivia?
I wish it was Canadian.
The
butter
Gay Lee
trivia.
Butter Factories in Sterling. Can you do anything
everybody
with
knows that Canadian butter is just milk mixed with maple syrup and then churned.
That's it. That's it.
You're not supposed to be giving these secrets
Usually,
away.
He didn't give a
Anybody can
consistency.
anybody can make Canadian butter by putting some milk and putting some maple syrup into some milk and then driving down any road in about April.
So oddly accurate.
I'd like to see videos of our overseas listeners all throughout the EU over there trying to make Canadian butter. Just driving around a roundabout. Driving around a boat and then trying to make Canadian butter.
So you just have to know you have to know how to hit the potholes properly.
That's it.
And if you wait
secret
too
is-
long, they start to fix them.
Anyways, what was your trivia fact? I hope it wasn't butter related.
It wasn't butter related.
Unfortunately, I couldn't find any butter. But did you know that following the credits, they dedicated the movie to Gord Downie? Canadian
I did
trivia.
not see that.
I did not see that. I didn't stick around.
Truthfully,
to the very end of the credits.
I bailed right after the end credits.
I almost missed the end credit scene, to be honest, or the post credit scene, because I was like, "Oh, there's a bus I could get in like 5 minutes if I leave right now, or I have to wait a half an hour." So I went to go leave, and then the freaking post credit scene pops up where he hops back in time and saves a bunch of people who he killed in the movie. And I'm like, "Wait, okay, I need to watch this. Is this canon? Is this a joke? What's happening?" So yeah, that's why.
Why am I using the same questions from the intro scene? Yeah,
I didn't even realize, but it's true.
For myself, I stood up and leaned against the railing and watched because the motherfucker beside me was a 5'5" wannabe musclehead who literally watched the movie like this and made sure that he took up both armrests. And I'm like, dude, first of all, you're on a date. Give up one of them. Like, let your lady friend have one of them. I can live by leaning this way, but you shouldn't be a dick to her. We all get the one on the right. That's just how this works. I'm on the end, therefore I get the right one. The fuck you doing, Playboy? So I stood up and watched the post-credit scenes from the aisle, leaning on the railing.
Yeah, like I said, I was getting ready to go, so I just leaned at the hall, like the entrance of the exit hallway, and I'm just like, okay, let's beat all these people.
Let's go. I gotta pee first.
Yeah. That's literally was definitely part of the list. Yep.
I know you had to pee.
I've got a small bladder. Anyways, but yeah, that post-credit scene. Do you think it's like legit or it was for fun?
Well, like the trying to reset the timeline thing where he that one, or where he brings back.
That's the jokey part. I'm talking about where he brings back like all his own, like his team. And does he end up bringing Vanessa? I don't remember if I caught that part.
He only brings back Vanessa and Peter.
Is it only those two?
He brings back Vanessa because he's like, we're totally gonna name our kid Cher.
Yeah.
Cher? I'm pretty sure it was Cher.
Yeah, okay, I remember that. I thought.
Yeah, because they're playing "Do You Believe in Life After Love?" I'm pretty sure that's the song
Cher.
they play.
It's too bad I know that.
Hey, that's a great song, man.
I'm so disappointed in myself.
I used to listen to that song on the daily when my mom would drive from Milton into Etobicoke to drop me off at Montessori school.
Oh, you mean Toronto to Toronto?
Yeah.
Don't even start with me right now.
That was more a joke towards Andrew than you, Craig. Okay, I mean I've been calling Milton Toronto literally for a decade. It's because it's Toronto.
Anyway, that's because it's Miltasaga actually.
It is Milta now.
It's Miltasaga.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
Which technically isn't Toronto.
No, either one of them.
I consider it Toronto, but it's not.
I know.
But anyways,
yes.
So he saves that, and then Peter lands. And he's like X-Force, and he's like, Peter, don't go over there. And he's like, but X-Force. He's like, get out of here. You did some cool shit. Go. And that's it. And then he goes and does his own thing.
Okay.
He does not save Bedlam.
No, he doesn't save the rest of the team. You're right. I think I just kind of assumed he did, but they didn't show that, so I guess probably not.
He's probably like Shatterstar or whatever the hell his name was. Fuck that guy. He was a douchebag. And they even call him a douchebag at one point. And then Brad Pitt, he didn't do anything, so they let him die. Yep. And then friggin' It, a.k.a. the creepy clown guy from It, Pennywise,
right, yeah.
He dies by getting shredded like a motherfucker. So we just let him do that because Bill Skarsgård? I think it was Bill Skarsgård. Bill? One of the Skarsgårds anyway. He is an ugly son of a bitch. Ugly. Like,
I didn't know that was the route we were going. Sure, okay.
Ugly. Like, I'm just glad that people haven't gone all Robert Pattinson all over him. Because he looks like a rat that got shaved partially, and then someone just dipped him in water to wash the hair off. And then they're like, good enough. It's a rat, whatever.
His first name is Bill, by the way.
There we go, Bill. Boom. Well, he's got a brother, Alexander Skarsgård. There's a whole thing, whole family.
Gustav, like his father, Stellan.
I think we know.
You say
Stellan. One of them, isn't there a Skarsgård in the Thor movies? Is that one guy Skarsgård, or am I thinking something else? Name.
Vikings.
Maybe.
I think it's Alexander Skarsgård who's in Vikings.
I haven't seen Vikings.
Stellan Skarsgård's in Thor.
Yeah,
the
he's
Avengers.
Yeah, he's
Good Will Hunting,
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Thor:
Yeah, I
The
thought
Dark
so.
World.
Yeah, he's a professor.
yeah.
Yes, he's also in Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
The sequel. That's gonna make so much money this year.
It's gonna make all the money in another couple months.
All of the monies. This is gonna break records.
It literally has to break $4 billion.
It's gonna go back in time and take all the money from all the other movies. Is what's gonna
All
happen.
of the monies.
That's the only way to make it possible.
They're gonna go back. They're gonna make a 6-hour Mike Tyson Mysteries movie that's called Mamma Mia 2. People are gonna go see it. Craig's gonna see it 7 billion times. It's gonna be cool. Don't worry.
I'm spending my entire paycheck on it just so that I can.
Hey, can you employ me for the next 140 years and send every penny I make to this, please? Thank you.
Please.
That's one way to win.
Yeah. Why are
didn't
you
really
doing
set
this?
out
Why
ground
do you
rules.
want to do this? So I can win bragging rights with my buddies on our podcast.
We didn't really set down ground rules.
That's true.
That's
we
fair.
did.
There was
we
zero ground
were.
rules.
This was an honor system thing, hoping other people would support our picks. Nowhere does it say we need to support we can't support our own picks.
No, I agree. There's no rule saying that we can't skew the box office results with our own
Exactly.
billions of dollars.
Exactly. That we don't have.
It's why Avengers Infinity War made $1 billion already. I'm gonna admit it. I did it. I threw it in there.
Damn it!
That's what
You
I'm
mean
doing
I-
if I win
you-
the lottery.
You mean I could have done that with Ready Player One?
Yeah, you
instead of
probably
being a
should've.
box office flop?
You
Damn it!
really should have, because that movie was not.
It tanked.
It tanked
Yep.
hard. I saw
It friggin' Suicide Squaded me. Damn it!
It really
It
did.
looked okay, and then it was terrible.
Yep. Anyways,
Damn it!
should we
Back to
get
Deadpool 2. We haven't talked about Cable at all.
No, I was just thinking that too.
You mean
which,
Thanos?
yeah,
What'd you
aka Thanos.
Yes.
AKA Josh Brolin, who was just great. I loved him. He did a great job, I thought. Like, I don't know Cable from the comics
AKA
very
Jonah
much.
Hex.
AKA Jonah Hex, exactly. So I didn't know the Cable character that well, so I was just, this whole thing was just an introduction to him, but I just really liked the way the background a little bit that they make for him, like the reason they give for him coming back in time and going after this random kid, and so I like that motivation. I really liked the way that they had him play the straight man. Like, he does a great job of playing the straight man to the the wacky funny guy, right? It's like Deadpool's wacky funniness. He plays really well off of just being the straight face, stop being stupid guy. And I really like their dynamic between them that they developed through the movie. Yeah,
Only best friends kill pedophiles together.
exactly. It's true. And it took them, I don't know if I said this to you, but I thought that their reason for fighting and then joining teams should have been more similar to Batman v Superman. Like, their motivation should have been a little more similar to how Cable and Deadpool's motivations.
Well, considering Deadpool literally spent half the movie just making references to DC movies.
Yeah. They intentionally tried to avoid those mistakes. I agree.
I feel like they came in and they're like, yo, Batman vs. Superman did not get enough credit for being a great movie. People still complain about it today, about saying it's a bad movie, in quotations, for those of you who aren't watching me right now, because it's a great movie. And it's been out for 2.5 years.
Yep.
You can't say a movie's shit and then still be talking about it later.
No, I agree.
Unless it's Scarface. But,
My only point was, because I love the movie too. I was just saying, I think audiences would have loved Batman v Superman more if the motivations were just as sound as Deadpool's and Cable's motivations for fighting were, right?
yeah.
They're pretty on the ball. They both just had a difference of opinion on how to deal with a certain situation, which is kind of what Batman v Superman had, but they didn't emphasize that enough. And that's just one thing I noticed when watching this, is I just really enjoyed the way that they first start off as conflict, and that they kind of have to fight it out before they kind of are okay, we can see what the best kind of middle ground is for the two of us, right? Like, it's not killing the kid, which I guess isn't really the middle ground. That was what Deadpool's side is. But my point being that it's just, I like the way it was developed, and I thought that just did a really good job of like having that, you know, starting off as antagonists and then becoming sidekicks or, you know, partners in the end. So, but I did think he was going to save Vanessa at the end part, to be honest, for just like a half a second when he goes back in time. Yeah. Like as soon as they mentioned that he only had 2 jumps, I'm like, oh, okay, so he's going to use
one of them.
Yeah, his last jump is being used to like save somebody or something, and that's why he's going to get stuck here. I saw that coming like as soon as he mentioned that, but I definitely thought at that end that he was going to go just like save Vanessa, because Deadpool wasn't dying because he didn't have to die at like that first time, you know what I mean? Like, he could have just taken the thing off, he would have healed. He wanted to die, so it's like I thought he was going to go get him a reason to not die, you know what I mean? But
he can't take the thing off. That's the problem, right?
Well, no, they could have.
He says you need a grenade to get it off. Like, you need to blow your head off in order to.
Did they say that?
To get it back.
But they were able to take the other ones off.
His got taken off because they like busted it, and I imagine Juggernaut snapped the other one.
Yeah.
Off the kid.
I just feel like somebody said something about getting it off of him at that end thing, and he's like, "No, don't. It's time for me to go." You know what I mean? I think he's.
The kid after that, like when he's dying, the kid takes it off by like sticking it in and breaking it off, and he's like, "Oh, you need a fucking password," and Domino's like 7.
Yeah.
And then Deadpool makes his 417th snide remark about how luck isn't a superpower, and it was 7.
That's true. Which we also haven't talked much about Domino.
No, love Domino. She was the best addition to this movie, if you ask me.
I agree. I second that very much. Her sass. Love it. Love a lady with sass. Always.
Love the afro. Loved the afro.
I will second that. I'm not normally a big afro guy. It's too much hair.
But it worked for her.
She pulls it off. I'm not normally a big hair guy, but I liked it on her. She rocked it.
I like the confidence. Her confidence was like here.
That's why she
Here's
pulled the hair
Cable's
off.
confidence about being able to kick everyone's ass, and this is high.
It's very high.
Domino's confidence up here.
Twice
Boom.
that, almost 25%.
And right here, Cable. Right here, Juggernaut, because he feels like nothing can fuck him up ever.
Because that's his power.
Boom, Domino, right there.
She's just on another level.
Way up there.
For all of our audio listeners. He was putting his hands in different levels.
Exactly. I was
progressively getting higher.
Yes. Higher based off
the
the
point
confidence
is she's the most confident
ever.
Arguably more confident than Deadpool.
It's probably power related.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
That's part of the luck thing, yeah.
However,
when everything always goes your way, it's hard not to be confident.
That's true. Like, part of me wanted her to not even bother pulling the chute. Part of me wanted her just to be like, I'm going to land somewhere. It's cool.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, they definitely could have had a little more fun a few times with her power being like, yeah, she literally doesn't have to do anything ever. But I think they did a really great job of, like, kind of saving it for that. Yeah. Just, like, one scene of her just rocking in and saving the day as the only X-Force member left.
Yeah.
And
good news, you're alive. Bad news is the dead.
And they all did. Even Peter. Yes, especially Peter.
Absolutely. I'd like a spin-off series of Domino with Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Just the two of them just like going around just doing
shit. And Negasonic's girlfriend, because I just love every time she would just be like,
"Hi, Nokia!"
That was my favorite thing. Just, "Hi, Nokia!"
Hi, Wade!
Even though they're like, and then, the combativeness between Negasonic and then Deadpool, but then them being all best friends.
Deadpool, they're like super chill.
Dynamic. Yeah, it's just great. I want to go see this movie again already. Just all I was talking about it. It's so funny. Like, it was such an enjoyable time.
I like when they like introduce her and then she introduces like a girlfriend and he's like, "What the shit?" He's like, "What?" And she like assumes he's being homophobic and he's like, "No.
Yeah. Someone likes you.
I can't believe you found someone who likes you.
Yeah, no, I like that too. I kind of thought that was the way they were gonna go too. So it's like, oh, this seems. They're not dumb enough to make the he's got something with them being gay joke.
He literally took a dildo in his ass in the first movie.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I mean, Negasonic doesn't know that, but
we don't know that.
You can assume.
We don't know that for sure.
That's true. We saw them in position. Yeah. Well, we saw it on the. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Or what he shares with his friends.
That's true. Maybe he was tweeting about it.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, the cast in general is just great. Just overall,
absolutely.
Like, there was no bad cast. I can't think of anybody who I thought was badly cast.
No. Eddie Marsan was friggin' in it, man. Like,
yeah.
He's an award-winning, stellar British actor. He's in motherfucking Ray Donovan. He's in Gallivant, for God's sakes. He's in an episode of Gallivant. He sings. He's deaf. He sings. It's amazing. And then he comes out and plays this Bible pusher, and I was like, I did not see that coming. I knew he was credited with a role in the movie. I did not know what it was, though.
Fair enough. I'm not sure who you're talking about, to be honest.
He was the bald professor or whatever, headmaster at that school where Fire Fist
okay, gotcha.
came from.
Okay, my bad. Yeah,
he's the one who gets smoked.
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Dopinder kills him.
I was just blanking. I was thinking about that too. I'm like, wait, who was the bad guy of this for a second? And I'm like, oh wait, it was that guy. That guy and like the kid kind of.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have one bad guy in this thing because.
No.
It's kind of like everyone kind of shifts.
Life is the bad guy.
It's true. That's so true.
Whoa, meta.
Life is so.
We just got
bad
meta.
Guy in this.
Life is the bad guy. Should we get that on shirts?
Maybe.
Craig, should we get that on shirts?
Yeah.
There we go. We got Craig's opinion. Yeah. But yeah, like Eddie Marsan blew my mind. I liked him as the bad guy. I also liked the CGI fight that Deadpool even says is, this is about to be the most intense CGI fight ever.
And it was
where
close.
Where Juggernaut and Colossus just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, no,
especially when Colossus starts playing dirty.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Punches him in the nuts, pulls his pants down, shoves electricity up his butt.
This is how we do it in Mother Russia.
This is how we do it in Mother Russia.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was enjoyable just to watch them. And I'm it's funny. I should have saw that coming. Didn't see it coming. Like when once Juggernaut came out, I should have known that that's how they were going to deal with him. Didn't see it. I was just like, oh yeah, he's probably maybe gonna. Oh no, that makes sense. And it's kind
honestly, I thought he was gonna pimp slap like Colossus' head off or something.
Yeah, I thought
Wade was gonna be like,
oh yeah, Plan B,
like
Plan B.
Yeah. And then they were going to have to go back in time and start that all over again. Like, I assumed that's what was going to happen. Considering Colossus struggled with Angel Dust.
Yeah.
Angel Dust?
I think something like that.
It was Angel.
The name of the character.
Was it Dust?
I was gonna make a drug reference. So
yeah.
Everybody struggles with Angel Dust, man. Everybody.
That's true. But, man... I just watched a show recently where he called... Oh, it's Bob's Burgers. That's where he is. Where he calls Louise Angel Dust when he's trying to give her a nickname in the episode with I Think I Found My Happy Place.
Yes.
You know the song, Craig.
This song's in my head now. Thank you.
There we go. You're welcome. Anyways, I think it was Angel Dust was the villain. Angel, whatever. Anyways, he struggles with her. Like, maybe it's because he's got a mad crush on her. Can't say I blame him.
I think maybe it's because he didn't know if he would hurt her or not.
That's fair. He's trying to hold.
He was holding back a little bit until she, knocks him across the yard a little bit. Then he picks it up a little bit. But like he even says at one point, like he doesn't want to hit a girl, right? Yeah. So I think that's the part that was why he held back in the first one, and then this one.
That's fair.
He didn't have to hold back.
He's fighting dirty.
Yeah.
Like, especially when he makes the friggin' like brass he makes the brass knuckle.
That was pretty cool.
Loved that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Loved it.
I'm curious if this Colossus ever isn't metal though. Is this one like
I think he's metal all the time,
which is cool.
Like,
I was just curious if that's the case, because that would definitely be hard to find that kind of clothing.
If they make a Deadpool 3, I just want Wade to be like, yo, dude, like, how do you jack it? Because like I want to know, like, just for intellectual reasons, like I want to know, like, does he get like splinters, like? Does it get like red hot or something? Like, does he have to wear?
He's a WD-40, a couple ball bearings.
Does he have to wear like welder's mitts just in case? Like,
yeah, he has to. Let's not talk about this. Let's move past
No.
this. I don't want to talk about Colossus jerking off. Just don't. I'm sorry.
It seems like a question that Wade would ask, though.
I agree.
Considering, like, he grabs his big metal ass twice.
Yep.
I mean, back to back, but still twice.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
that is something that I'm surprised that hasn't been brought up as a joke. Now that you mention it, does sound like a kind of.
it sounds like a Wade question, like just
seems
out
like
of the
an
blue,
obvious
like
kind of penis
where
joke
he's
for
like,
them to make.
"How do you get off?" Like, honest question. They don't even like just give him a sly answer.
I'm surprised he hasn't
How
made like
do
a
you-
joke about destroying a woman either. Like
Yeah.
anyone who tried to have sex with that man, just
Yeah,
like getting beaten with a metal bat, like just.
absolutely.
But anyways, I managed to make it through most of my notes about Deadpool. What about you?
I have. Okay, so I talked about how they reference the DC universe a lot.
Yeah.
I'll give you the references though for those listening. What is it? Dubsteps for pussies. They make that reference and then they go right into "You're so dark." Like, are you sure you're not from the DC universe?
Yeah. That's
I forget. I have the quote, but I can't remember the scenario. It's like, you're right. It's the when he shows up late and he's talking to Vanessa. He's like, "Sorry, I'm late. You know, you're right. I was fighting a Cape Badass, and then we discovered that his mom is named Martha too."
Yeah.
And I was like, "There we go, more DC."
There's some more DC. Yeah.
And then when Cable asks him, he's like, "Who are you?" "I'm Batman." I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, yeah.
There's never too many Batman references in anything.
Never, ever, never.
Anything. What else do I have? Oh, they make the superhero landing reference again, where they start making the joke about him being an X-Men trainee,
Yeah.
and then
is great, yeah.
he gets shot up into the friggin' school or the apartment or whatever the hell it is. He's up there and the kid's like eating cereal, so he signs the box Ryan Reynolds, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'm an X-Men." The kid's like, "Trainee." So then he's like, "Superhero landing, here we come." Goes and jumps out the window, blows his knees out.
Yeah.
This is not practical. Because it's not.
It's
It is
not at all.
practical.
No.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah. No.
Not practical.
No.
Hurts my knees watching it. So we got that. And then the scene where Cable comes crawling and like over to them and being like, "Hey guys, check it. We need to buddy up and do the shit together." Wade's missing half his body and he's got his little baby bum. Mm-hmm. But he pulls out the fanny pack, which he also, what does he call it? His utility belt
Yeah,
or
his
something?
utility belt or something like that.
And Weasel goes nuts on him. He's like, "It's a goddamn fanny pack and you know it. The difference is day and night." And I was like,
Yep.
it's funny. Fucking fanny packs. They're so convenient, but they look so dumb. Get pants with pockets. They work better.
Yeah, that's just my solution. All my pants have pockets.
Always. Well, that's because we're men, right? Our pants actually come with pockets. Not
Yep.
fake, stupid pockets like women's jeans. Pisses me off.
But I don't want a crease line or something, yada, blah, blah.
Then iron the goddamn jeans on the pockets. Throw them in the friggin' dryer. Give women pockets.
Tired of carrying just cell phones around all the time.
Absolutely. I'm tweeting that right now. This is going to go viral. Out with gout and give women pockets.
Don't you have a private Twitter account?
Maybe.
You can't go viral then.
I guess so.
That means nobody
Damn
else can
it.
see it.
Damn it! I'm still going to tweet hashtag give women pockets. There we go. Everyone listening, we need you to hashtag give women pockets.
Yeah, because any of your tweets aren't going to do it for us.
Craig, do it for me. Tweet. You tweet it out with gout.
Why don't you just get rid of your private profile?
Reasons concerning former people I used to know.
Anyways,
Anyways,
any other Deadpool comments?
I would also just like to say that Negasonic Teenage Warhead did not get enough screen time. I loved her in the
I
first
second
one.
that.
I would have liked to see her join X-Force.
I would have liked some more
Because
sass.
because she's got so much attitude. B, because she's a babe. I'll say it. She's a babe. I want to see her do more stuff in X-Force for sure.
Yeah, hopefully she comes back.
Nokia! Hey, Nokia!
Yeah, I want Nokia to come back. That's what she keeps saying. I just want Deadpool
Wade.
to be like, "Hi, Nokia," and be like, "Hi, Wade."
Have a scene where he shows up at the X mansion, and then she's like, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing here?" It's like, "Actually, me and Nokia are going to the mall.
Yeah.
Thank you."
Thank you. Can you get
She's
her
like,
for
"Hey,
me?
Wade!"
Yeah.
Or a scene where like he's like laying on bed on his stomach with his legs like kicked up. You know what I'm describing.
There's literally
just doing the kick.
There's literally posters
Yeah.
of him doing that. Yes.
Yeah, doing the kick, and he's just texting Nokia.
Yeah.
XOXO Gossip Girl.
I feel like that's definitely gonna be part of the promos for this on DVD. Is like him sitting, like
Probably.
texting her or something.
She's like, "Hey, we're coming out on DVD soon." She's like, "What's a DVD?" And he's like, "Oh." She has a magical electric whip. At least that's what it looked like her power was.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, I don't remember her doing anything now that I think of it.
She
There was one
does
scene.
like lasso with like electric something. And then that gets, I'm pretty sure that's what gets shoved up
Yeah, Juggernaut's
the
butt.
Juggernaut's bum.
Nice.
So WWWTW.
Craig, what'd you watch this week?
I watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 5
Yes.
That's not Deadpool 2.
because I did not watch Deadpool 2 since we had a long weekend in Canada because we're ancient and celebrate dead queens of a country we're no longer technically a part of, but we wanted a holiday in May.
That's how we do it, my man.
I
just
don't know what you're
make up our
complaining
own.
about.
I'm not. We have a holiday in May.
Well, you guys
And
have
everybody-
a holiday. I didn't get the day off.
Most of us just celebrate beer. But it's not called Victoria Day. It's the 2-4.
It's called May
weekend.
2-4.
It's not.
It's to see how many 2-4s you can drink.
Yep.
0.
Yeah.
I had a back thrown out this week. I stayed on the couch watching Netflix
I did yard work.
for the podcast though. Hashtag.
For the podcast.
I went
podcast.
camping. I went camping.
Hashtag
so
give
I didn't
women
watch
jeans.
Anything.
You know
Give
what?
women pockets.
Pockets.
Anything.
Yeah, so I just watched. That's the only thing I can think of is Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 5. 'cause
How
there's no
how
Mike
far
Tyson
are you
mysteries.
now? You said you were 6
7?
episodes in earlier. 7.
Yeah,
made
I
it
only
one-
watched one episode this afternoon.
Those are rookie numbers. You need to pump that shit up.
Man, the time between when I told you I was on episode 6 and when I was on episode 7 was the entire time I was at work.
What have you been doing with your time, man? It came out what? Monday night?
Sleeping and working?
I finished it this morning. I work.
Sleeping and working.
You need to work harder at
Final
not
answer,
working.
Regis. Sleeping and working.
Rookie numbers, man. Rookie numbers. You need to get that shit going all the time.
I clearly didn't have any time to watch Deadpool, so when was I going to have time to do anything else?
You came back Monday. It came on Netflix on Monday. I started the same time.
No, you didn't. You started hours before me.
Okay, so you should be at least 2/3 of the way through.
2/3? That's a long
3
time.
3 hours, that's 9 episodes. That's math. Damn it.
That
Give women pockets.
Is that our new go sit in the corner?
Yes. Denim jean companies. Go sit in a corner or sit on a chair in a corner, think about what you did, and give women pockets.
Sew some pockets into some women's pants.
Hashtag out with gout.
Did you say get with gout?
Out with gout.
Okay.
It's a thing. It's an inside joke between me and Craig.
Anyways,
Another one.
Why don't you tell me about what you watched this week?
I watched the whole 5th season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I'm a
that.
baller like that.
because
Kyle
because you can time travel and didn't sleep.
Yes. Yes.
I maintain this.
I'm so happy that you were ripping on Craig for not getting to it. I'm like 3 seasons behind on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
You still have. I've given up on you though,
That's
man.
fair.
You haven't watched Gallivant. You still haven't watched Kroll's show.
Okay, in my defense, all the superhero DC shows are done, like just had their season finales, so I've got more time time to watch other stuff now. So
Well,
see.
hopefully.
We'll see.
Start with
I
Gallivan.
can't promise anything.
Kyle Gass is in the season finale. Kyle Gass. He was from the Kyle Gass Project,
Yeah.
which is the dude who plays guitar by himself and sings on the beach in Tenacious D.
He's also the second
And-
half of Tenacious D.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's the only reason I know who he
He's-
is.
He's the one with the ISD tattooed on his bum. But yeah, he was in it, and he's gray hair with a beard in it, and I literally spent like 3 minutes, and I was like, why do I recognize him?
I hate when that happens in a movie. You're like, what? Where is she from? That was like when I was watching A Series of Unfortunate Events, the second season.
Okay.
Their aunt is this blonde chick. But I could not for the life of me think of where the hell is she from? She looks so familiar. And then 2 days after, I watched a movie and she was in that, and I'm like, oh, that's where it's from. Okay, that makes sense. And then I've slowly discovered she was in Lost and little things like this. And I'm just like, oh, she's just been in everything. I just forgot who she was. I forgot her existence.
Oh, absolutely. But there's a lot of actors out there that just show up and stuff.
Yeah, and it's hard to keep track of sometimes. It's I'm sorry, you had a great 15 minutes in that movie or TV show, and I didn't take the time to go learn what your name was, but you were great. I still thought you were great. That guy, or that girl, or that person.
Friggin' Lou Diamond Phillips showing up for 2 episodes at the beginning of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I was literally staring at him. I'm like, what the hell have I seen you in before? And I start racking my brain, trying to put together every movie, every TV show I've ever seen before.
Yeah, so that took a couple days.
And then I'm like, oh, you were on The Ranch. That's what I saw recently. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I'm glad that I wasn't the only one that went through that, where I'm going, what are you?
Not who are you, what are you? Were you an entity
Why
that I created?
are you?
When are you?
Where?
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Yeah.
Damn it, we forgot to
took
say
me-
spoilers for Infinity War.
Damn it. Well, they're using that as advertisement on their
I was just thinking
Instagram
that
page.
too. I saw that too. I was just
I stand by it.
they're starting to use more and more clips, and I'm just like, you guys
It's
are really
too
trying to
late
compete.
to be spoilers now.
Have you noticed that they've all been Drax though? They've used that one, and they've used the freaking Invisible.
That's true. Maybe those are because they're the least plot
And
centric
it's the
ones.
kind of simple comedy that is relatable to a lot of people.
Yeah,
Well, I
very
saw-
and easily to Instagram picture, GIF mode
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
I saw a meme the other day on Instagram. It was I forget what the caption was. It was Marvel's using too many invisible characters these days, and it shows Vanisher, I think it was Vanisher, in Deadpool 2, and then it shows Drax in there eating his nut. And I was like, I liked both of that. So outside of the 9-9 that I watched, 9-9! I watched Grey's Anatomy. I'm at the beginning of season 7.
Right.
So I crushed that shit too.
Yeah, you crushed a lot of that last week.
You live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So you got to get a little mud on the tires.
Featuring Brad Paisley.
Yeah.
Featuring
I knew.
Brad Paisley.
I was waiting for one of you guys.
Bradley!
Well, because that was actually a direct quote from Four Wheel Park, which is by Brad Paisley featuring Brad Paisley.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is a direct quote from Mud on the Tires. So it's a whole
Exactly.
thing. It's meta. It's a fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break.
That's what this podcast is here for.
Absolutely. Math. So what did you watch, Scott?
Yeah,
Well,
Scott.
Apparently, I watched the most this week because I'm an old man and I
Whoa, that's not necessarily. You
were
watched more
couch-ridden.
different
quantity.
things.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
fair. That's fair. Not maybe
You watched
Variety.
different things.
Variety. That was
not
the word I was
quantity,
going for. Yeah, I was gonna say
variety. Yes.
quantity's
Yeah.
arguable. Yeah, so variety.
That's a
yes.
little derivative, isn't it? Peter, I don't remember asking you.
Yeah, but I did watch more of a variety of stuff. I watched all my normal stuff, all the DC shows that just ended off with season finales. We had Arrow ending, Gotham ending, and I just watched Flash earlier today, which ended with a cliffhanger of them introducing their kid from the future, which took long enough. They've been teasing it all season, literally the whole season. So it wasn't that big a surprise they ended the season off with teasing that being next season's thing. So curious to see where that goes. I'm annoyed that I have to wait and that there are no DC shows over summer. Apparently, so you guys can't just like take one of them out of the like world. No.
Has there ever been a DC show over summer?
No, but I want one. I just want something like all I got this summer for superheroes is Luke Cage coming out in a couple months, and I'll be done that in 12 hours.
Yes.
So that doesn't help me.
On the bright side, once we hit fall, I believe that's when the DC streaming service drops.
If they get it, yeah. If it
because
manages to open,
the third season of Teen Titans is still scheduled to drop this fall. So
you mean Young Justice?
Based on
Young Justice.
Yeah.
Young Justice, I mean, not Teen Titans. Young Justice
Tomato,
is supposed to drop this fall. Yeah. I mean, technically, Titans is going to drop sometime after that.
Well, it's part of the
The
streaming
live
service.
action. Yeah. So we can just crush that over the course of like 3 days.
Yeah, but that's 3 months away. It's 3 months of me. I have DC stuff to watch.
Okay, here's what's going to happen. Let's be real. Infinity War is going to be in theaters until at the very least 2 days before it comes out on Blu-ray, right?
Yeah, probably longer than that. Like Black Panther's still in
Considering
theaters on DVD and is on
Yeah.
Blu-ray now. So
Yeah. So realistically, it's going to be in there forever. Deadpool is going to be out there forever. Motherfucking Incredibles comes out soon. Okay.
Han Solo is apparently really
For
good
reals.
too. Han Solo comes out.
We're talking superheroes.
Oh,
right
okay.
now,
We're
man.
sticking to just superheroes. I thought we were talking
Just
blockbusters.
superheroes.
I thought we were just talking
Incredibles
blockbusters.
comes out soon. Ant-Man comes out in July.
That's true. Is that July? I thought that
Venom
was
comes out at
August.
some August, whenever it comes out, at some point this summer. Venom's coming out at some point.
I just want more superhero shows. No, I'm kidding. I don't need more. I don't get why they have like 5 and none of them are during the summer. Like to me, that just seems like they're.
Well, they got to be able to have a point where they intersect, right? So they can do their massive crossover.
Well, you say
gotta
that,
have
but
some
then
way of doing
like
that.
Black Lightning this year, they had come out and it doesn't connect to anything. So like they could have saved Black
That's fair.
Lightning for now, or like saved one of them for later, like or like Legends, because Legends doesn't connect too much in, right?
That's true.
So it's like, and it's got time
Maybe-
travel, so it's easier. Like
Maybe with Black Lightning, they did it that way so people were already involved
yeah,
with the
well that's
the
why
DC
Black
shows.
Lightning made sense to me.
Yeah.
But they like, I mean, I think Supergirl's still running for a few more weeks, but that.
Is it? Oh,
Because
man.
it took a pause and then came back like a month ago. I haven't been watching it because it wasn't on CTV.com, so I can't watch it. it's the only
Fair enough.
like if,
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, cool. I'll just catch up on it when it gets added to Netflix. So yeah, I don't know what's happening with Supergirl, but I think it's just finishing up in the next week or so, anyways.
I don't know. Supergirl is one of those shows that, as I watch it, I am not a huge fan, but I am a big fan of hers. So I'm like, yes, you do this. You deserve pockets.
I'm forever fascinated with where that show's going, like where they're like what it's leading up to, or
I think
you know what I mean?
because there's too many superpowers. Like she's freaking super.
It does.
Like,
Yeah, it's true. It's hard.
I like watching Arrow because like he's got to be a vigilante about it. Like he's got to do other shit, like rely on his human capabilities.
It makes it
Use,
more
you know,
interesting.
use Felicity.
And
Yeah.
his
even the Flash, like you can only run so much, man.
yeah.
Like
Well, they're doing better with the Flash, giving him villains that he can't just run at and hit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, because that's the thing. That's exactly. I
although
agree.
this season was the least accepted season so far.
Yeah, you think? That's
That's why I've read,
I haven't been keeping
I've
up with
read
all
a
that
few
kind of
the-
stuff.
A few of the numbers on it. I think this was like the least accepted season.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I think that's just because like people have gotten sick of seeing like,
well, and we have so many.
this family member is gonna run fast, and Iris. Why the hell haven't they killed Iris off yet? I just want her to die.
She's
Not
This
as
is
a
what I
person.
say
She
about
can
your
live as a
cat
person.
all the time.
Hey. That's what my cat says about you.
I know she does. I can tell by the way she looks at me.
You can tell by the way she uses her claws. She's a savage bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
But,
back to what you were talking about.
Anyways, I hate Iris. Not my cat.
Yeah.
Love Iris. But I hate Iris West. Hate that bitch.
I could see that. Her character can be a little annoying sometimes, and it seems a
Like-
little like pointless sometimes. I'm like, wait, why are you qualified to run the team of superheroes?
Exactly.
You were a
She
half-bit
literally-
reporter at one point. Like,
Yeah, she was a hack. She literally went from being someone who was okay at writing like little puff pieces here and there, and was mediocre at serving coffee.
yeah.
And all of a sudden, she's fucking Lois Lane? Get the hell out of here.
Some like superhero tactician about who,
Yeah.
like what?
Yeah. What? What?
When did she get
Go.
trained?
Did John Diggle come and hang out with you? No, he did not. I know this because he's weirded out by metahumans. Boom.
Very much so, yeah. But I don't think I don't hate on her as much as you do. But I know what you mean. Her character definitely they could do more with her or give her a little bit.
Give Caitlin Snow more screen time.
They've been doing that
Give
a little
Danielle
bit more.
Pennebaker.
Do
it.
They had Killer Frost a lot more predominant this season.
Yeah.
For a point, and then that's not the point. Anyways,
I want to see her solve everything. Kill Iris off. Get rid of her. Oust her. There's the door, sister.
you're just killing the Flash's wife.
Yeah, so? Death happens, dude. Life is the bad guy. We covered that.
No, I agree. It's just funny because you're usually the comic book defender.
Not in this one.
Not in this case. Nope, kill that bitch.
Not in this case. I got no use for that bitch. Get her out of here.
Okay. Well,
Like literally, I think we talked about this before, me and you.
probably.
You and I. Season 3 of The Flash, where it starts and it was season 3. Last season was Savitar, where it's leading up, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you." Stabs her through the chest. Deep down, I was like, "Yes, thank God, kill the bitch, yes." And then you find out it's not her.
Yeah, that was
It's not her.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And
you
I was
were
like,
disappointed.
I was like, what? What? You had to kill the guy with drumsticks? I didn't like your drumsticks, but at the same time, why couldn't you have killed Iris? Just let her die, man. For reals. If you had let her die, you'd be alive right now.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, all those are on hiatus until the next season. So, but I watched other stuff too.
What else did you watch?
I've watched Legion, which is coming up also on a season finale. I got one more week of that, then I'm done.
Okay.
This is why I'm really upset. So many 5 different things ending at once. It's emotional,
That's
okay,
what it
guys?
is.
It's a
That's
lot
what
to
it is.
handle. But Legion only had 10 episodes, so I can't complain too much. I really like this season. Again, I really enjoyed Legion. What else did I watch? Season finale, or the series, finale of Once Upon a Time. That show is officially
it's
gone.
done.
It's done. It's kind of about time. It had a good run.
It's been on for what, like 10 years?
Not quite, but close. It was like 6 or 7, maybe 8. This might have
That's
been 8.
it? Jeez, I feel like it's been on long.
I think it was a longer time. I think there was a couple
Okay.
like breaks in there where they like only did like
okay.
half a season over a year or something like that.
Okay, like when Family Guy got canceled
Yeah.
a bunch of times for no reason, because Fox sucks.
Similar to that, I think it was more timing for the cast and stuff. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
at the beginning of this last season, they had already lost like half their main cast, and they tried to like soft reboot it on itself, which I kind of
American
liked.
Horror Story style.
Almost, yeah, like very similar to that. Like it was the same. It was pretty much the exact same as how this show originally started. They just had the son being the parent now as opposed to
Oh, okay,
The kid?
I think I read that. Yeah.
yeah. So like they just pretty much like he just becomes the parent and he has a kid and the kid now has to get him out of the curse, and like it was kind of fun. It was an interesting way for them to reboot it. It was a fun enough season, but it's definitely time for it to end. I'm a little disappointed because it's always been my like kind of guilty pleasure kind of show. I don't know why I like it at all, but I just do. I just
Because
enjoy
fairy
it.
tales are dope, man.
I like fairy tales, like that's part of it, but it's not a good show at all, but I just enjoy it. I think it's mainly like a lot of like the actors. So it's filmed in Vancouver, so you'll recognize a lot of them from like The Flash and all the different shows. For me, it's most of them I recognize from like Stargate SG-1 and those different sci-fis that are all filmed in Vancouver. So that's part of what it is, but there's plenty of seasons for me to rewatch on Netflix, so that's okay.
Is Iris West, is that actress in it?
No, she's not. Not that I can remember.
She was in Grey's Anatomy that I watched the other day. And truthfully, I just hope that bitch was going to die in there too.
I figured I got that theme coming up.
I actually kind of liked her in Grey's, but I hate her as Iris. Anyways,
fair.
continue before I go back. Before I get angry again.
So the final show that also had a season finale was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That wrapped up.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm glad it got renewed for another season, but you could tell that this was also supposed to be, like, could have been the series finale.
Yeah.
They have Coulson walking
been
off
running
into the
out of
sunset. Yeah. Well, I'm very curious how they're going to bring it back next year now too. Like if they're like how like what's the premise going to be? Are they going to do what like are they going to include? But it's also I also saw that it doesn't come back till after Infinity War. So like we have a whole year before like the next Infinity War movie comes out. So they're just completely ignoring the fact that Infinity War events happened within this universe. And they're just going to come back after it's happened or after the movie's resolved it. So,
what if they use it to like soft reboot the whole goddamn thing?
it's possible.
I'll be so pissed.
You'd be pissed.
So pissed.
I'd be kind of okay with it.
I'd be so pissed.
Is Coulson coming back from the dead again?
Again?
I hope so.
Turns out it goes back to like the 90s. Ugh, I'd be so pissed.
Just getting me more and more on board.
Damn it!
But I also watched.
Iris West is the leader of the. She's the new commander
You're
of
so
Shield.
getting me so on board for this show. But I also watched the 6th season of Game of Thrones because I've just been meaning to catch up on that for a while. I checked out iRobot, but people can hear about that on our YouTube channel. Made a video about that.
Sunny.
Yeah. And then I also watched the new Lost in Space on Netflix. I started watching that. I've got 2 episodes left. It's okay. It's a good sci-fi. It's an interesting take on the Lost in Space story. Not that I know it that well other than the movie from the early 2000s or 90s.
With Matt LeBlanc,
With
right?
Matt LeBlanc, and I don't know who else is in it. It's the only one I care about.
Yeah, he's the only one I remember.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of cool. Like they changed up the robot isn't like one of their companions, just someone they find, and he can't talk as much. So.
Oh, really? Isn't it? Does he still say that saying?
Said it once. That's the only
Danger,
thing.
Will Robinson.
That's it.
That's the first thing he says. It's the only thing he said in these 8 episodes. I'm like, wait, so he could say Danger, Will Robinson. Didn't know to say that, but now he's said nothing since then.
Well, he had to say it.
Well, yeah, I was hoping they would save it, but they stuck it in the pilot.
Save it for the end.
Yeah, well, it was the end
have
of the
him
pilot,
meet
so.
and know the guy.
Yeah, exactly. But it's okay. I'm interested to see how it ends. Like I said, I got a couple more episodes to finish the season off, but it's good. It's all right. Like if you like, it's a good. I like the quality level. I was a little surprised considering it's a Netflix show. I wasn't sure how great the CGI and some of the sets would be, but they did really good. It looks like they were out on like they went to some middle of a forest somewhere to film as opposed to pretending to be on a CGI green screen. So it's pretty good. I'm excited to finish it off. But that's pretty much everything I watched, except for I just started rewatching Supernatural as my background show when I have to do stuff like dishes or whatever. But that's all I watched this week. Finally, end of stuff.
End of stuff.
That's all.
Words.
Yes. Words, podcast, listeners, etc.
Hashtag give women pockets.
Hashtag give it women pockets.
There we go.
Well, I guess that brings us to the end again this week. Do you guys have anything to say to our listeners before we go, or should we just say goodbye?
I don't apologize for the spoilers. You better get on board because we're going to be doing lots of spoiler episodes over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, there's a lot of like summer blockbusters coming out. We're going to try and get to watching them all. We're not sure if we'll be getting to the all the week of that they'll come out, but we're going to be trying to get to them a little earlier than that. We will be putting a spoiler warning in the titles beforehand, so if you weren't warned before you got to this episode and you somehow made it all the way to this point in this episode and you're still a little mad at us about spoiling it, well, I'm going to make sure
That's not our fault.
It's not our fault.
That's not our fault.
I'm putting it everywhere. I'm going to warn you next time. But yeah, thanks for listening this week, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.